trapped in the spirit realm. The warm glow of the setting sun painted the forest in hues of gold and orange. Arya, a young journalist eager for her next big story, ventured deep into the woods to investigate the legend of the Veil of Mist, a mysterious phenomenon said to transport those who entered to another realm. Her guide, an old villager named Pak Raji, had warned her, "The mist isn't ordinary. If you stray too far, you may never return." Arya, fueled by skepticism and curiosity, laughed off his words. "Don't worry, Pak Raji. I'll stick to the path." As night fell, a dense mist began to roll in, thick and cold. Pak Raji called out to her, but Arya was too engrossed in taking photographs of the mist swirling like ghostly tendrils around the trees. Suddenly, a strange force seemed to pull her forward. She stumbled and fell, her flashlight flickering wildly. When she stood up, Pak Raji was gone. "Pak Raji?" she called out, but her voice echoed back eerily, as if the forest itself were mocking her. The air grew colder and the mist thickened until she could barely see a few feet ahead. Then she noticed it. The forest was deathly silent. No chirping crickets, no rustling leaves, just an oppressive, unnatural stillness. Arya pressed on, her instincts telling her to move forward, though she no longer recognized the path. The trees seemed alive, their twisted branches reaching for her like skeletal fingers. Her heart pounded as she spotted faint lights in the distance. Hoping to find Pak Raji, she hurried toward them. What she found instead froze her blood. A group of shadowy figures sat around a fire, their faces obscured. Their bodies were strangely transparent, flickering like candlelight. One figure turned to her, revealing hollow, glowing eyes. "You shouldn't be here," it rasped. Arya backed away, trembling. "I'm lost. I just want to go home." The figure pointed toward the mist. "The way out is closed. You must wait for the veil to lift, or join us." Terrified, Arya ran. The shadow's laughter echoed behind her, growing louder, more distorted. She tripped and fell into a small clearing where a decrepit shrine stood, its carvings worn and ominous. Above it, an inscription read, "To those who cross, only faith will guide you back." Her flashlight dimmed, leaving her in near darkness. Then she saw it, a figure standing at the edge of the clearing. It was Pak Raji, or at least something wearing his face. "Arya," he said, his voice unnaturally calm. "Come with me. I'll show you the way." But his shadow stretched unnaturally long, twisting like the trees. Arya realized this was no savior. Summoning her courage, she remembered the shrine's inscription. Clutching her pendant, she whispered a prayer, her voice trembling. The mist around her began to swirl violently, the cold seeping into her bones. The fake Pak Raji screamed, its voice echoing as it dissolved into the mist. Suddenly, the forest shimmered and she collapsed to the ground. When she woke, she was back at the forest's edge, Pak Raji shaking her awake. "You're lucky," he said, his voice trembling. "Few return from the veil." Arya glanced back at the forest, now quiet and ordinary in the daylight. But she knew the truth. She had crossed into a realm where the living had no place. And though she had escaped, she couldn't shake the feeling that the veil was still watching, waiting for her to return.